After restoring the heart of Te Fiti and guiding her people back to the ocean, Moana became Chief Wayfinder of Motunui. She loved leading voyages, teaching new navigators, and watching her people rediscover the ancient rhythm of exploration. Yet even as the ocean sparkled with promise, Moana sensed a new stirring beneath the waves. The ocean had begun calling her again, this time with a tone not of invitation, but of urgency. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a powerful storm rolled in from the open sea. The waves churned violently, glowing with strange streaks of red. When the storm struck Motunui, the villagers saw something they had never witnessed before. The ocean briefly pulled back, revealing jagged cracks on the seafloor that pulsed with fiery light. Then the water crashed back, trembling with energy. The islanders gathered on the shore, frightened. Moana felt the ocean tug at her feet, whispering a message only she could understand. The next day, Gramatala's spirit appeared to her, shimmering softly over the tide pools. She warned that the balance of the ocean was in danger. A forgotten guardian named Kaleva, protector of the deep trenches, had awakened. Long ago, Kaleva guarded the boundary between the peaceful seas and the fiery underworld beneath them. But something had disturbed him, causing volcanic forces to rise and ancient sea creatures to flee into shallower waters. If the balance failed, islands across the Pacific, including Motunui, would be swallowed by rising tides and violent eruptions. Moana knew she couldn't face this threat alone. With the ocean's guidance, she sailed out to find Maui, who had been helping islands rebuild after Te Fiti's restoration. She found him wrestling an enormous wave eel that had been displaced. From the deep, proud as ever, Maui pretended he had everything under control. But he quickly admitted that the ocean had been behaving strangely. When Moana explained the warnings from her grandmother, Maui agreed to join her, though he joked that saving the world twice should earn him an even bigger legend. Together, they sailed to the far reaches of the ocean, following tremors and underwater fire. They encountered glowing currents, forests of luminous coral, and enormous shadowy creatures surfacing from depths no navigator had ever charted. Along the way, Moana learned from the ocean that Kaleva had once been peaceful, shaped from molten stone and cooled by Te Fiti's breath. But without Te Fiti's heart to stabilize the world's life force, Kaleva had weakened. Even though the heart was restored, the imbalance had already begun. To reach Kaleva, Moana and Maui ventured into the Abyssal Gate, a massive whirlpool that spiraled down into a cavern of magma-lit water. Within it, they discovered Kaleva rising from the molten cracks, a towering guardian of stone, lava, and glowing fissures across his body. His deep voice echoed through the cavern, filled with pain rather than anger. He believed the world was collapsing and that his duty was to release pressure by letting the ocean surge upward, regardless of the destruction it would cause. Moana stepped forward, braving the heat and tremors. She spoke not as a chief or a chosen one, but as someone who understood what it meant to carry the weight of responsibility. She told Kaleva that the world could still be healed, but not through destruction. For a moment, he hesitated, but the instability around them grew, and he lost control, sending walls of steam and molten water crashing through the cavern. Maui used his shape-shifting to deflect the blasts and protect Moana, but even he struggled against the overwhelming force. Realizing she needed to act differently, Moana asked the ocean to help her reach Kaleva's core. The water lifted her, swirling around her like a shield. She approached the guardian and placed her hand on the glowing fissure at his chest. She channeled the calm strength she had learned from Te Fiti, whispering that balance could be restored not by breaking the world, but by trusting its people. Kaleva slowly absorbed her words. The glowing cracks softened and the violent energy settled into a warm, steady rhythm. With a final tremor, he released the pent-up pressure harmlessly into the deep and restored harmony between the molten and oceanic realms. Emerging from the Abyssal Gate, Moana and Maui watched the ocean return to its natural calm. Kaleva sank back into the deep, renewing his ancient vow to guard the world from beneath. When Moana returned to Motunui, the villagers celebrated her once again. not just as a leader, but as a bridge between sea, spirit, and people. Moana knew the ocean would always call, but now she understood why. She wasn't meant to wander aimlessly. She was meant to guide, protect, and help the world grow. And with her people sailing at her side, she felt ready for whatever new horizon awaited.